Hello, and welcome to Yoga with Andrea Rose. This practice is one that I offered back in 2019 for a group of bird watchers at the Macomb Audubon Society. But I figured it was time to offer it online for anybody who'd like to do it from home. So this practice is good for bird watchers who might be looking to decrease some neck and shoulder tension from looking through binoculars. It's good for beginners, and it's also good for anybody who really just wants a gentle, grounded practice. So there won't be any standing poses in this class. Everything I do, you can do either from sitting on your mat or sitting in a chair. So go ahead and get comfy, and we'll get started in just a moment. So go ahead and begin just by finding that nice upright seat, whether you're in your chair or on your mat. If you have a wall and you've chosen to sit on the mat, you might use that added benefit of sitting up against a wall. And alternatively, if you have yoga blocks, you might stick one of those or even like a blanket or pillow under your seat just to give you a little extra lift and support. So as you settle in, I just want to open with a few thoughts how birds and yoga might be connected. As I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes looking through binoculars can make us sore between our necks, shoulders, even our eyes. So there's that physical aspect. But also I find as a birder and as a yoga teacher that just spending time out in nature and noticing everything that's available to notice just helps really make me feel connected to everything, helps me feel really present, and helps every little detail of life feel exciting. And yoga's kind of like that too, except whereas with birding we're really focusing on external sensations, with yoga we're finding that awe and wonder within the body and within the breath. Maybe you'll draw your own parallels as well. But we're going to start with a little bit of breath work, speaking of the breath. And a way that I'd like to do it that really helps to remind you that you're breathing is to keep your hands on the body. So one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Just let the shoulders and the elbows relax. Keep that upright seat, but keep the rest of the body just soft and lifting. And if you can close your eyes, just to kind of turn your gaze inward for a moment. And for now, just kind of breathe without trying to control the breath or change it. And just letting it breathe. Letting it be. And allowing yourself to really welcome this connection to your body and the signals that it gives you at any given moment. Now I'm going to introduce a little bit of a pattern to our breathing. If it doesn't work for you to hold the breath at all, simply skip that holding part and see what you can do with the inhale and the exhale. But I'm basically going to follow a 4-2-6 structure. So what I mean by that is inhaling to the count of 4, holding the breath for 2, exhaling to the count of 6. So I'll talk us through a couple rounds and then just leave it up to you to find your own pace. And then I'll let us know when it's time to move on. So here we go. Oh, and by the way, you can do this in and out the nose, or perhaps if it feels better, in the nose and out the mouth. So here we go. To the count of 4, inhale, 4, and hold for 2, exhale, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2. Inhale, 4, 3, 4, pause for 1, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 2. Inhale, 4. Hold. Exhale, 6. Hold. Inhale, 4. Hold. Exhale, 6. Take 3 more rounds on your own. And whenever you're done with your first or last round, go ahead and release your hands back down into your lap somewhere comfortably. Good. So as I mentioned before, even our eyes can use a little stretching once in a while, which isn't something you always hear in a yoga class, but I have a nice little stretch to help our eyes. So you're going to go ahead and stick your one arm, doesn't really matter which, out in front of you and point your index finger up. Go ahead and bring your gaze to that index finger. And then bring the gaze to the nose. If you look cross-eyed, it's okay. And then back to the finger. And then back to the nose. You might even feel this kind of like above and behind your eyes. Just do it a couple more times. Release the hand down, and we'll do one more round of that with the opposite hand. So sticking that hand out, index finger up. Go ahead and gaze, maybe this time a little further, so past the index finger. Then to the index finger. Then to the nose. This can be really good for headaches too. Past the index finger, to the finger, and to the nose. Just take a couple more rounds of that. Make sure you give it a little pause at each stage. And then go ahead and release. Nice job. So now we'll just do some gentle shoulder and neck stretches. So really simple stuff. We're just going to inhale, starting with the shoulders, inhaling them up, down, and back. So when you're down and back, you should feel your chest opening, your shoulder blades kind of pressing together, and then coming forward, it's opposite. You might even notice your breath starting to sync up with this, naturally more inhaling as we open the chest, and naturally exhaling as we kind of collapse forward. Don't think too hard about whether everything's coordinating though, just get a nice loose movement here. Alright, and then we'll do some neck movements. So neck rolls, as in moving in a circle, aren't necessarily the best thing. Our neck isn't necessarily supposed to move in a circle, so I personally prefer more side to side and up and down stuff. So we'll go ahead and just, as if you're drawing a line with the nose toward your shoulder, just slowly turning the head over toward the right. Your gaze might even go more right too, a little more of an eye stretch for you. And then back to center. And then take it to the left. And back to center. We'll do that one more in either direction, but this time once you reach that shoulder, tuck the chin slightly down. Then bring it back up and back to center. To the other side, tuck the chin slightly down. and back to center. Finally, let's just tuck the chin now down toward the chest, keeping the back straight, extending through the back of the neck, and then coming back to neutral. If it's all right with your neck, you might counter that a little more dramatically by leaning the head slightly back. So now we're going to move into some side bends. Go ahead and just place either the palms down on the chair you're sitting on or on the ground next to you. If the palm seems a little too low, you can always kind of tent the hands and just rest on the fingerprints. So take the right hand out to the side, lift the left arm straight up, and then side bend toward the right. You'll feel this right side kind of collapsing as the left ribs separate and expand. And don't forget to breathe. 2 more breaths here. Come back to center now and reach your arms up overhead. I always encourage a little kind of shimmy and shaking it off in between sides whenever that feels good. So now just repeat this toward the left. And come back up, reaching the arms up, shaking it off. All right, so we did a little bit of shoulder rolling, and it's kind of a nod to what we're about to do. But we're going to do some seated cat-cows. So you'll notice some similarities between the shoulder rolls that we did and this. So cat-cow is coordinating spinal movement with breath. We're just going to start, we're going to do a couple of variations. So starting with the hands on the knees, either in your kind of cross-legged seat or if you're on a chair, just hands resting in the lap. As you exhale, leaning back, rounding your spine, dropping the chin down toward the chest, feeling that nice curve in the spine like that cat shape. Halloween cat. Then on an inhale, counter the movement, reach up, lift the chin, lift the heart. Let's just do 3 more like that with your own breath. I lost count, but I'm going to do 1 more. Good. So another variation now can be to cross the arms. Same idea. You might be able to lean a little less with the arms crossed. When you come forward, uncross the arms and place them either kind of toward the back of the chair or behind you on your mat. Then when you exhale to cross, place the opposite arm in front. Inhale, lift and open. Do 4 more of those. Nice. Now we're going to do 1 more version. So exhaling, leaning back for our cat, we're going to place our thumbs kind of by the jawbone and the rest of the fingers up on the forehead, and just give yourself a gentle forehead massage. So just kind of scrubbing the skin on the forehead. Again, this can be great for headaches. We'll stay here a little longer since we've added this massage. And then as we inhale up for our cow pose, cradle the neck so you can interlace the fingers behind the neck. Elbows flare out. We'll just do 1 more each of that version. Giving it some time. Inhaling up and out. You can just let the arms open up and eventually come back down to neutral. Let's go ahead and take some seated twists. So again, if you're seated, actually really either way, if you're in a seat or on the mat, you're just going to bring your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you or to the back of that chair, and gazing over toward your right shoulder. We'll hold here for 5 of your own breaths, trying to stay seated up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders. After your 5th breath, don't rush it. Come back through center and take it to the left for 5 breaths. And finally back to center. Nice work. So this next pose is bird named. It's called eagle arms. But for some of you, you might take a modified version. So this is a shoulder opening pose. I'm going to show you both the more, intense version and then the gentler one. So let's start by bringing our left arm around, bending at the elbow, just kind of bringing this arm in front of us. The hand can be just open. Then we take the right hand, bring that left elbow on top of the right elbow, so kind of bringing the right arm underneath the left, and then you either touch the backs of your hands together, or if you can go even further, you touch the palms together. If you're in this variation, you're going to want to keep the arms lifted away and up from the chest. So you should really feel the shoulder blades peeling open and apart. So if that's absolutely too much, the more gentle version to stretch that left shoulder is to just kind of drape the left arm across the chest, cradle it with the right elbow, and just pull. So either just pulling the left shoulder open like this, or taking that eagle arms. We'll hold for 3 deep breaths. And as we're doing these poses, especially in a longer hold, just periodically check back. Are you furrowing your eyebrows? Are you clenching your jaw? If any of that stuff is happening, just gently allow it to soften. And now that we've made it through 3 breaths, we're going to either take 3 more right where we are, or we're going to add a fold to it, just bowing down to some kind of level. And then inhaling back up, opening the arms, letting them float open and release any way that feels good. And then we'll take this to the other side. So again, either just stretching the right arm across the chest or taking eagle arms on this side. We start with the right elbow bending. That arm comes in front of the chest. We bring our left arm underneath and either touch backs of the hands or fronts of the hands together. Inhale, peeling up and away from the chest. And exhaling, breathing here for 3. After your 3rd breath, you can decide to just double that or add a fold for the next 3 breaths. Good. Go ahead, release it out, shake it off. Nice work. Let's go ahead and interlace the fingers. Press the palms out and away from the body. Next time you inhale, extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands forward again, keeping the bind. We'll go up one more time on an inhale. exhale back to center and release. Now we're going to do a little move that I like to call bird hugs. Go ahead and inhale, open your arms out to a T. So this would be like your wingspan. As you exhale, crisscross the arms across the chest and give yourself a nice little hug, perhaps wrapping your hands around the shoulders if you can. Now remember which arm is on top here because we'll switch it. Inhale, spread your wings. Exhale, hug opposite arm on top. 2 more of these. Moving with the breath. Almost like a dance. Swami Krapalvananda says to perform every action artfully is yoga. I find that really beautiful. So even in between our poses, in between our breaths, we can keep this kind of sense of artistry to our movements and even to our stillness. All right, so the next pose is going to be pigeon pose. So if you're in a chair, see if I can describe this, your one foot will be planted on the ground, let's say the left foot, and the right ankle is going to cross on top that left knee as you try to open this right hip. So right knee trying to open up. You can even hold a little pressure on that knee to keep it open and keep that top foot flexed. And if you're on the ground, you're basically doing what I'm doing. You're just kind of leaning back a little more, planting the left foot and letting the hip open. Maybe just resting on both hands, leaning back, keeping that action in the flexed foot and in the open hip. So we're going to hold this one for about 7 rounds of breath. See if you can stay with those breaths. Stay with the intention of opening. Maybe even close your eyes. And as always, not rushing it, but whenever you're done with your 7 breaths, you can release, shake this off, maybe squeeze the knees in or let the knees rock from side to side. And then we'll take this on the opposite side. So I'm on my mat, obviously. I'm going to plant my right foot, still leaning back, taking this seated pigeon variation, opening the left hip and keeping the left foot flexed. And breathing, we'll hold this for about 7 of your own breaths. And again, once you're ready to release and reset, just get yourself back to your center and find that easy seat once more. So before we close this little practice, we're going to take one more little flow of movement, and mostly we're just going to be moving our arms and concentrating on linking our movement with our breath. And it's even helpful to think of the breath guiding the movement rather than the other way around. So here we go. Just follow along. On an inhale, we'll lift the left arm only upwards. On an exhale, we'll let that arm come back down. Let's do this on the other side. So on an inhale, the right arm goes up. Exhale it back down. This time we're going to inhale the hands behind the ears, bending the elbows. Let the arms come all the way up straight. We're going to exhale, twisting to the right. So repeating that twist we did earlier. Good. Inhale back to center, reaching the arms up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up and back to center. Exhale here. Stay here for one more round of breath. Exhale to cactus arms or elbows bent. Fingers nice and spread apart. Inhale here. Exhale the palms together toward the center of the chest. Inhale, open. And we'll repeat that twice. So exhale together. Inhale, open. Imagining there's a little extra resistance here. One more time, pressing it together. Inhale, open. Finally, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to repeat that flow 2 more times. On the inhale, reaching just the left arm up. Exhale, left arm down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale it down. Inhale, hands behind the ears, elbows bend. And then up. Exhale, twisting right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twisting left. Inhale, reach up. Hold here, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arms. Hold here. Exhale, center. Inhale out. Take that twice more. Once more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. This time really press into the palms, elbows can turn outward. All right, one more time. Inhale, reach left arm up. Little higher than before, exhale, lower. Really reach the right arm up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, both hands behind the ears and then upward. Exhale, twisting right. Inhale up. Exhale, twisting left. Inhale up, hold for a full round of breath. Reaching, reaching. Exhale, cactus arms. Hold for a beat. And then we'll take those 3 in-outs. Exhale in. Inhale out. Really squeeze shoulder blades together on the opening. Final time, inhaling up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Beautiful job. Now let's go ahead and either bringing hands toward knees or even toward the shins or the floor. Just take some kind of relaxing forward fold. Letting body tension start to soften and dissipate. Letting effort start to float away. Finally coming back up and either remaining in your nice easy seat, or if you prefer to lie down, I'll guide you through just a very short visualization here. So finding that softness, that surrender, closing your eyes and taking this last little slice of time to put a little buffer between this time of mindfulness and the rest of your day. So closing your eyes, bring to mind either a bird that you like, that you admire for some reason, or some other animal or something in nature that you really respect, admire, And then once you have your image in mind, think about the qualities it has and perhaps the qualities that make you admire it so much. Perhaps it's beauty or speed, its grace, its ability to adapt, its strength, whatever it might be. And then with your next few breaths, imagine just embodying those qualities, so breathing them into your being, and they become part of the qualities that you possess. Let that lift you. Let that inspire you. As nature always inspires me. And you can remain in this rest for as long as it feels good. I definitely recommend at least a few minutes. I'll leave you to your visualization, and I thank you for practicing with me today.